experience as being a homeowner. We have financial literacy classes that they go through so they understand the difference between being a homeowner and being a renter. Our Brush with Kindness program helps out low-income folks with, simple chores around the house. And, of course, our Restore, located in Redlands, is a real part of our fundraising effort. So it's building homes, it's building hope. Folks can give us a call at 909-478-1176 or habitatsb.org.
This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM is San Bernardino Strong.
Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company has been serving the greater Inland Empire for over 60 years. For all of your printing needs, from full-color printing to high-speed copying and everything in between, go to Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. Their staff is committed to your total satisfaction. Great service isn't just lip service at Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. It's the way they do business year after year. Having trouble finding drafting supplies? Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company still carries a complete selection. Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company is rated high in customer satisfaction by Value Star, an independent rating company. For all of your personal or business printing, call Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company at 909-792-3478. That's 792-3478, or visit them on New York Street in Redlands off the I-10 and the Crosstown Freeway.
If you're trying to prevent a home foreclosure, you need the Goodman Law Firm on your side. Goodman has a nationwide network of foreclosure attorneys to represent you during the mortgage mitigation process. The Goodman Firm has resolved troubled mortgages across the nation. Take control of your mortgage situation today. Call the Goodman Law Firm, 888-800-6030, or contact them online at www.arnoldgoodmanlaw.com.
Greetings and welcome to What's It All About? This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on Kcaa 1050 on your AM radio dial and now 106.5 on your FM dial. We are here today to talk about anything that comes up. If anything comes up and anyone wants to call in, our number is 888, that's area code 888-909-1050. We invite anyone to call in who would like to call in. And today we have as our co-host Nicholas. Nicholas, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Jolly. I'm glad to be here today.
Well, it's a great pleasure to have you with us today. We have some things to talk about, and Dr. J should be calling soon. Dr. J's on the line already? My goodness. Okay. Dr. J, what's up?
Can you hear me?
You there, Dr. J?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I've got some questions with Christmas coming on. In the current situation, the way things are in our society today, what is the role of Jesus?
Okay, let's Di, can you help us a little bit? I can't hear him very well. Oh, okay, turn up my headphones. Boy, that's a good idea, man. That helped me hear myself now. I'm in business. Okay, go ahead, Dr. J.
I asked, I said, in today's society and the way things are, and of course with the holiday just a couple of days away, what is the role of Jesus?
The role of Jesus? Oh, man.
In our society and the way things are, both inside and outside the Christian tradition.
Man, you gave us a big subject to discuss. Let me tell you something. I have my own ideas about Jesus, And I think they make a lot of sense, and I believe in them. I believe that this is the whole truth, that Jesus Christ came to this earth to teach us a way of life, to teach us how to live, not to give us a lot of BS like some religions do. And I'm sure that some of you understand what I'm saying, but to show us a way of life. In the early days, as a matter of fact, Christianity was known as the way. Even during the Roman Empire times, if somebody they called them people who followed the way. They called the Christians people who followed the way. And if you wanted to know if someone was a Christian, you went up to them and you'd say, "Do you follow the way?" If they followed the way, then they were Christian. The way is to live the way Jesus Christ taught us to live. He taught us to live in a very incredibly positive way. He taught us to be honest. He taught us to teach respect and love. He taught us about justice. He taught us not to condemn. He taught us to live according to the golden rule, treat people as you want to be treated. All of those things are part of the way. So I think that at this time of year is a good time to remember. We celebrate the birth of Jesus. Whether you believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God or the second person of the Blessed Trinity or whatever is irrelevant in terms of you following the way. You can follow that way and make your life incredibly powerful and meaningful, and you want everybody around you to follow the way. There is nobody who wants to be treated according to things that are opposite the way. You show me any atheist. Do they want to be murdered? Do they want to be stolen from? Do they want to be lied to? Do they want to be disrespected? Do they want to be condemned? Answer me, do they?
No, they don't.
All right, so nobody does. So the way is for everybody. So my thought about Christmas is it's a time to remind us to get off our ass, to look at the way we're living, and to begin living in a way that makes sense and that will work, rather than so much according to our feelings and our passions and our appetites and our weaknesses. But to recognize, first of all, and then to begin to develop our strengths and to have a way to live. You know, hey, I'm not saying there's no other way to live. There's a lot of ways to live. You can choose to live however you want. But you asked me about Jesus, and I gave you my opinion. I hope that makes sense.
Well, that's wonderful, and that's a wonderful answer. Now, in keeping with...
Something happened. Did we lose
salvation.
him? Oh, okay. You have to repeat. We lost you somehow temporarily.
What is salvation?
What is salvation? I don't know
the
extent of your question, because some religions say that you have to receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and then you're saved. But my question is, what are you saved from? See, I don't know what that means. Now, I have some alternatives. I have some thoughts. Some religious belief systems believe that you will roast in hell and never burn up and dissipate because you have unending fire, but it's non-consuming. And that is being lost. However, I have a problem with that. Let me tell you what my problem is. My problem is, first of all, at this day and age in our world, we have 7.5 billion people. 7.5 billion. We have about 1 billion, 2 to 300 million Roman Catholics. And we have probably 350 to 400 million Orthodox Catholics. So we have, almost 2 billion people who are of that Christian variety. And then there are estimated to be around 400 to 450 million Protestants. So that leaves about over 5 billion people who are not Christians, who do not believe in Jesus. Does that mean they're going to roast in hell? What do you think, Doctor? Can you hear me? We're fading in and out of Dr. J. Anyway, what do you guys think who are listening? Do you think that we're going to roast in hell? And I'm not trying to preach to you and say wild things to you and you should believe this or that or the other thing, but I'm exploring the possibility. He asked about salvation. Well, salvation is, to me, It is buying into the way, buying into the teachings of Jesus. Being saved can, sure, acknowledge Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. I think that's wonderful. I do that every day. Every day I say the miracle prayer, which is, you want to look it up on the internet, the miracle prayer. It's an ancient Aramaic prayer, originally in the language of Jesus. I have a CD that I listen to every day, 3 or 4 times of that prayer. It's incredible. And it includes giving your life to Jesus. It includes all the things that we say Christianity should be about. However, I don't believe that is enough. I don't think that that is the secret of salvation, and I don't think that is the guarantee of salvation. I think that the guarantee of salvation is we follow the way, and that saves us from the wrong path. It saves us from the wrong path. Do we have a caller on the line? Okay, we have Hugo on the line. So let's talk to Hugo. Hi, Hugo.
Hello, Doctor.
Hey, greetings to you.
I need an advice, so I don't know what to do with my son. He's been in drugs, and last couple of days he's been acting really weird, kind of crazy. And I know he's not using drugs for 4 days, but he's still acting crazy.
Well, he's coming down and his brain is affected by it. There's no question about the brain being affected by drugs. What is his opinion about what he wants to do about it? Is he willing to go to rehab? Is he willing to turn his life around?
I tried to take him to rehab. Actually, last night we did it. And we leave it in that place. It was like community from our church. And he called me like 3 hours ago, and he says, somebody is going to hurt me. I don't like this place. So he's acting paranoid. I don't know. And I went to pick him up, and he slept well last night. But this morning, he started doing the same thing. Somebody's behind him, and he always telling me that somebody's going to kill him.
Well, first of all, coming out of a drug scene is very difficult on your body and your brain, and acting out a lot of stuff is pretty normal. Being in a rehab center is very important. Paranoia, being afraid of a lot of things, is something that is very difficult for anybody to handle. It's very difficult. They need professional help. They need professional help. And
yeah, that's what I mean. What should I do? Where should I go? Who should I call?
Where are you?
We live in city of Orange,
in
California.
Orange. Okay. I would call the Teen Challenge Center in Riverside and talk to them and get some advice from them. I would also call the Salvation Army and ask about their drug and alcohol rehab program. Now, I'm telling you this just so you can get some information. And then I'm going to give you a number where you can get a hold of me after the show is over later today, and I can talk to you about a lot more specific stuff that's relevant. But there are some things that you need to understand. Being a drug addict is a terrible thing. It changes your personality. It changes how you behave. It can turn you into a very manipulative person. It can turn you into a liar. It can turn you into someone who will be almost forced to do somebody else's will unless you're strong enough to not do it, because you will be taken advantage of. Eventually you will be stolen from, you will be lied to, and it's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. And you need to protect yourself from that process, number one. And number two, of course, you have to help your son become normalized. And that is not easy. It is not easy. Addiction is a very difficult thing to handle. And I think that you need to be strong. You need to be strong. How old is your son?
He's 25 years old.
25. So
Yes.
he's a man now. Does he have a job? Does he work? What is his
Yeah,
circumstance?
actually, he's working right now, and he called one of my sister-in-law to pick him up because he's afraid of everybody.
Yeah. Well,
And
paranoia
I
is
recently
normal.
calling him, and he don't want to speak to me. So I don't know.
Well, he probably thinks that you're going to try to influence him to do something he does not want to do.
Yes, there is a lot of fear in drug addiction. A lot of people don't turn to drugs because they're happy. I think something that is very important.
But I'm being afraid. Like 2 days ago, he was so aggressive that he wants to kill his sister.
Well, at that point, I think you have to be very serious. I know, Nicholas, have you had experience in this particular area?
Yeah, when I was younger, I wasn't a very happy kid. I faced many, many difficulties that still to this day I'm dealing with. But and I turned to drugs, and for a time it made me happy. But yes, I do understand the aggression, the fear, the confusion. It's very hard to frame reality. And one of the things that helped me tremendously was being hospitalized, being in an environment where I was safe and could work through these issues to identify the reasons that was making life so difficult and unhappy for me. It wasn't until I found, for example, hiking in the mountains, backpacking, to get away from all of the stressors, that I even began to be able to frame why I was unhappy.
Yeah, it's very complicated. I would
Indeed it is.
I would recommend that you learn as much as you can about possibilities for him. My thought is he does need to be involved in some kind of program that he buys into that will help him, number one, detox. Your body is craving these drugs, and you have to detox in a manner that you can handle and that will work. Because if you just usually stop taking them, you can create a bigger problem for yourself, and you don't want to do that. So that's number one. He needs to detox. He needs to be in a program that he commits to that will help change his life with people who want to do the same thing. And Teen Challenge and Riverside, I'm telling you to call there just to get information, just to find out what they do, what they say. That's all, to learn from. And I want to give you a phone number off the air. I'm going to have Nicholas take it over to our producer, and she'll talk to you and give it to you, and you can call me back about probably 5 o'clock would be good.
That sounds good. No problem.
So I look forward to hearing from you. And you can call me anytime you want. That's my cell phone number that you're going to be given. So I wish you well in this endeavor. I know it is not easy. It is a very difficult thing to be involved in. And when someone is on drugs, they're pretty irrational most of the time anyway. So he's got to get off before you can really communicate with him well on a meaningful level. And I would appreciate you calling me around 5 or a little bit after, whatever. We can talk a bit, and then we can continue some conversations. But I want you to do your best to get him some help. He needs some professional help. He's not going to make this on his own without some help.
No, this is not a situation that you're going to be able to solve by yourself. In fact, it is highly irrational, the nature of addiction itself. And if things, continue to be violent, I highly recommend involving a hospital or community center to provide isolation and a chance for sobering up, so to speak, to get the drugs out of your system, because it's causing very much a dementia, to where reality isn't even a thing that is tangible to him anymore. It's I don't know exactly what drugs we're talking about here, but none of them are good and cause very much those hallucinations that I'm going to be killed, somebody's after me, there's nothing I can do about it, and it's a cascading effect that is only going to get worse if continued to use.
Yeah, I know that. I'm being afraid.
Yeah, well, paranoia is not a very good thing. Also, remember that there are many programs that are residential programs. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a hospital setting as we know it, but a residential program can be very helpful as well because you're isolated, and they do have medical professionals who can help you, and they do help you detox. But you're right. What Nicholas said has much truth to it, and trying to do it without being in a setting like that is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So I will look forward to talking to you when you call me between 5 and 5:30. And I thank you very much for calling. I wish you a good evening. And, I know this is very, very hard for you. You might want to just ask the Lord for some guidance. Yeah, it is. It's awful. It's awful. So I look forward to hearing from you. You call me back later, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, this is radio, and you know what happens on radio? It's break time. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on KCAA Radio.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has only lately begun to gain recognition for treatment of chronic degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy? Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention KCAA and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Behind on your payments or barely making minimums? Do your massive interest payments have you running like mad in circles? How long can you keep it up? Stop running. Let the Thomas & Law Group carefully plan your escape. The Thomas & Law Group has proven itself for over 18 solid years, helping thousands of people like you and me reclaim our financial future. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and offices in all 50 states. And the best part? There are no upfront fees at all. You won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront costs, no monthly fees, no banking fees. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But really, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group right away for a free, no-obligation consult with a trained legal analyst at 800-460-9790. Call now because you're tired of running in circles. 800-460-9790. 800-460-9790.
Greetings and welcome back to What's It All About? This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on KCAA 1050 on your AM radio dial, and don't forget 106.5 on your FM dial, because we're now simulcasting. We're doing two things at once. That's supposed to be impossible, but on the radio we can do it. So anyway, we're approaching Christmas. What is Christmas? Christmas is a celebration like Lincoln's birthday or George Washington's birthday of Jesus, of course, however you believe, whatever you believe. But that's how it all began, and it's what is generally in the Christian world celebrated as the birthday of Jesus. So it's coming up, and my recommendation is that we give a great gift to everyone in our life that really should have this gift, and it's the gift of gratitude. Gratitude is so important, so important. And I tell you that some of the most beautiful things I have ever received in my life have been letters from people, letters of gratitude. I adopted a son when he was 13 years old, and he's now, I believe, 29 years old, and has 6 children, and just finished his master's degree, and he's been working very, very hard. And he wrote me a letter that brought me to utter tears of his gratitude for my help in his life. And, you know, it's just a very powerful, powerful thing. Helping people with anything that they need help with is important. But let me tell you something. Giving gratitude is a great gift beyond gifts. So don't forget to give gratitude to one another at this Christmas season. Gratitude for friendship, gratitude to your parents, gratitude to teachers. Write your old teachers a letter, anybody who really impressed you and changed your life, and let them know you are grateful. What do you think about that, Nicholas?
Well, I recently read an article online about gratitude and how important, and not just important, but paramount. It seems to be the most important act we can do is to show appreciation for the things we have and the people that have done things for us without our knowing or without our it's amazing the physiological response that our bodies have when we show gratitude. We can show gratitude in so many ways, and it is, I think, one of the most important things that we can do as human beings. Again, in the example of Jesus Christ.
Amen, amen. And I will add to that something that I did years ago at UCLA when I was working with Dr. Thelma Moss. I was teaching for a while at UCLA, and she was the head of the parapsychology department, did a lot of research in different areas, and we literally did a research project on the physiological results, manifestations of gratitude. We hooked people up with all kinds of galvanic stuff and electronic equipment and measurement of sweat and all kinds of things. And one of the people hooked up would be the one getting the gratitude, and the responses would be recorded and measured. And then she decided one day, she says, well, I wonder if the physiological reactions, psychological and mental reactions will be in anybody else. And so she said, let's take a look at what happens to the one who's giving the gratitude. So we hooked them up to all these wires and things, and they both had extremely positive reactions, extremely. And then she said, hey, let's see if an observer of gratitude has any kind of reactions. And they were almost all three identical. Their physiological, psychological, mental reactions were absolutely beyond your wildest imaginings. And the meters that measured the reactions were way at the end of the paper, you might say off the chart, so to speak.
Well, altruism aside, I believe everybody who's charitable really wants to have the feedback of the gift received, that it was helpful and that they are appreciated.
You're absolutely right. So this is a time of gratitude. So don't forget, write a note of gratitude to people in your life. I think that's very, very important. Okay, I'm going to give our phone number out again. Anybody wants to call in, it is area code 888-909-5223 is one of them. 222 is one of them. The other one is area code 888-909-1050. I think that's probably the best one. Area code 888-909-1050. Area code 888-909-1050. Remember, 909 is the area code, telephone area code for San Bernardino. 1050 is a call numbers for the station. So 909-1050 and the area code 888. We'd love to have you call in. Nicholas, do you have anything else to add while we're in kind of a little hiatus here?
Well, all lines are open. We can't wait to hear from you. Again, it's Christmas. We would love to talk about anything you'd care to call in about. We are here to support and talk and have a great time. Christmas is a magical time. For me, it's winter. I love the winter. Well, I love summer too, but winter is great. I've had some of the greatest times in my life being with friends and family in winter because we can't be in the outdoors as much as we would like to.
I want to Thank you for those comments. And I want to share with you a couple of things. I often talk about health. We're approaching a season where we just eat a lot of sugar and a lot of stuff that we really shouldn't be eating a lot of. I want to remind you not to take in too much sugar. Sugar is not good for your body. Glucose causes a lot of reactions that are negative. If anybody has any cancer cell growth going on in their body, and remember, it takes 8 to 12 years for cancer to develop. 8 to 12 years. If you give your body a little bit too much sugar, you're feeding that cancer, and you're creating a shorter time frame for the full or even semi-partial development of the cancer cells. So I want you to know that. I want you also to do a little bit of research on vitamin B3 and D3. Vitamin B3 and D3. I'm not going to give you a lot of my own opinion of those things, but I want you to look them up on the internet and see if they do anything that you want done to your body, because they're both very, very powerful vitamins. Now, I would like to touch on another subject, and that subject is money. Money, money, money. This is a time when we spend a lot of money. A lot of people are worried about not having enough money. And money is something that is very important. It's a representation of our time. For most of us, how we spend our time is how much money we make. If we're in sales, that's even more true. Much, much more true. But money is something that we don't seem to have a real good idea of how to approach and how to run our money life, our financial life. Look at money as how you spend your time. I want to give you a rule that I believe is paramount. In life, you will be paid in direct proportion to the difficulty in replacing you. In life, you will be paid in direct proportion to the difficulty in replacing you. That means if you can be trained how to do a job in a week, that you're not going to make a whole lot of money, because anybody can learn the job and anybody can do it in a week. The more difficult it is to replace you really generally means you know more, you have some experience, hopefully, but you know more, you have more knowledge, you have more skills to do the job that you're hired to do. That's why I always recommend to people that they occasionally will go to school, take a class on how to be more efficient, how to do things better. If they're in a specific industry where the technical aspects are important, to take a class on these technical aspects, on operating new equipment, on operating new sources of information for computers and new apps and whatever. I don't understand all that stuff anyway. But I'm learning now more than ever because I've taken classes and they haven't done a whole lot for me, probably because I didn't apply myself. I just bought a new phone. What kind of phone did I buy?
Oh, I got a Motorola Turbo 2. It's indestructible.
It's indestructible, and it talks to you. All you have to do is say, "Hey, Google, I'm hungry. Find me food." And all of a sudden she starts talking to you and tells you where to go for food. Isn't that amazing?
I think so.
And then you give her...
I can't live without it.
No, well, I know you can't.
I've tried.
I watch you, and you can't live without it. And you say, "Hey, Google, I need to go to 350 West 84th Street." And she starts telling you, turn right here and go left there, and it's going to take you 53 and a half minutes to get there. And then she tells you every step of the way how to do it. I'm sure everybody knows that by now, but to me, it's miraculous.
I've been one of these people that refused to have a cell phone. I really did not want people to get in contact with me. And if they did, they would make the time to be in my presence, or I would schedule time to be with them or meet them at, the restaurant or something. I really didn't want people to just get a hold of me, but it wasn't until the computer made it the phone that I decided, hey, this is a technology I really needed to get on board with. And the way I look at it, it's not a phone. It's a computer that can make phone calls.
It is, isn't it?
And now you don't have to have a desktop and all of these other things. It's just one small device, and that's all you need.
What would you say? It's about 2.5 inches by 7.5 or 8?
Yeah.
And it's about, what, a half inch deep?
Oh, gosh, no, it's barely even a quarter inch.
Quarter inch deep? Amazing.
Yeah, I've seen video of people hitting them with ball-peen hammers. No Apple can withstand that.
Hammers?
I've even just sitting at a talking with friends, smacked it against the edge of a table just playing around, rather roughly even, and not even a scratch.
Well, that's great. Well, enough commercials for the phones. I want us to, we're going to have to take a break again, of course, because we're a radio station and that's what we do. But I want to talk about a little bit about Christmas after the break. So let's take a quick break and we'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Behind on your payments or barely making minimums? Do your massive interest payments have you running like mad in circles? How long can you keep it up? Stop running. Let the Thomas & Law Group carefully plan your escape. The Thomas & Law Group has proven itself for over 18 solid years, helping thousands of people like you and me reclaim our financial future. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and offices in all 50 states. And the best part? There are no upfront fees at all. You won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront costs, no monthly fees, no banking fees. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But really, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group right away for a free, no-obligation consult with a trained legal analyst at 800-460-9790. Call now because you're tired of running in circles. 800-460-9790. 800-460-9790.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has only lately begun to gain recognition for treatment of chronic degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy?
Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention KCAA and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
Greetings and welcome back. This is What's It All About. Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel and Nicholas on KCAA Radio. Nicholas?
Yes, Dr.
Talk to us.
Well, I don't know what to say. This is my first time on radio.
You're a virgin?
Yes, I think you could call it that. I've been on web chats and all kinds of stuff, but it's only been with friends. This is the first time I've been on a live radio station.
Well, you're on a live radio station, and you're no longer a virgin.
Oh, yay.
How do you like that? This is it. This is it.
And you sound really good.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's got a good voice, doesn't he?
Maybe I've discovered a new profession.
Perhaps.
He's got a great voice. Absolutely great voice. I want to remind you all about your body, you know. Your body is your prime tool for living in the world. It is the greatest device you will ever have. It's given to you free of charge. It's magic and magnificent. And guess who takes care of it? You. You are responsible for that body, for fueling it. That means everything you put in your mouth, for everything you do, for breathing properly, for ingesting sufficient oxygen, for exercising and moving your body, using it properly. So all these things are important for you to remember because it will last much longer if you take care of it and if you fuel it properly. If you put the wrong stuff in your car, you never think of putting a quart of scotch in the gas tank of your car because you know that it would not be good for it. And yet we put stuff in our mouths that are not good for our bodies. And I want to remember to remind you always to please love and honor yourself enough to give yourself the very, very best. Nicholas, share with us.
What would you like me to share with you?
I want you to share what's in your heart and what you think you can give advice and things to think about to the people who are listening to our show as we prepare in a couple days to be together with our families and to celebrate the Christmas season and to gorge our bodies and drink too much wine and too much beer and too much vodka and all those things that we're going to do on Friday and Saturday and Thursday night.
Well, drinking, I think, is actually a great thing to do. However, I think more importantly, I think we should all be excellent to each other. I think that's the most important thing to do this holidays.
Excellent. Define excellent. The best?
The best. Treat everybody as you would treat yourself. In the example of Jesus Christ, if somebody's hungry, give them a burger. Don't think if somebody is begging on the street for $1, don't think that they're just going to turn around and buy drugs with it. That's none of your business. The truism here is charity. They are in need of help and can't do it for themselves for whatever reason. Be charitable. Be excellent to each other. Don't scream and yell at each other. This is the season for screaming and yelling. Let's face it too. It's been a family tradition since I think the first holiday season.
I think that's because it's a season where stress too is prevalent. Stress is prevalent. But I think when we do help somebody, we just do it with love. An old priest that was one of my professors said to me one time, if you help somebody, just help them in the name of Jesus and let it go. Don't expect anything else in return. So that's, I think, what we should do. I want to touch on something else. I'm very concerned about the psychological and mental well-being of people. And I think that sometimes we don't practice some of the skills that we should practice to remove ourselves from some of the haste and wildness of the world. And that may be going to a movie now and then. It may be going to church and sitting there for a half hour to an hour and just put yourself in contemplation and let the world go by. It might be making a retreat at a monastery, whether it be a Buddhist monastery, a Christian monastery, whatever kind of monastery.
Or just hiking to the top of the hill and looking at the land below.
Sitting there and look at the land below. Whatever it takes, I think we need some time to go away, time to be quiet, time to think about our lives, to plan a little bit about what we want to do in our lives, to take seriously our potential, to look at some of the mistakes we've made. I think confession is a very good thing, and I tell you why. In going to confession, you have to make an examination of conscience, and that's the important part. Because, people say to me all the time, why should I go to confession? I can confess to God. Well, I think that's fine. You can confess to God, but you don't go into detail. You see, when you make a good confession, you're supposed to make a list of stuff, and you go to a point where you look at your life and you acknowledge to yourself all the little things, the imperfections that you want to work on. It's the imperfections that you have that are habituated generally, that we just do and do and do and do and do, and we want to rid them from our being. And so in order to do that, in order to confess, if you have that in your religious tradition, you have to know what you're confessing. And when you go to God, you say, oh, God, I'm sorry for everything. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm starting all over. I'm sorry for all the hurt. I'm sorry for all the crap and the BS and whatever. But I want you to be able to say, you know what? I really did this particular thing. You name it. And you say, I regret it. And I've learned that I have the capacity to not do it. And I'm going to do my best to not do it anymore.
I think that's very important, to be able to acknowledge that you've done something you're not comfortable with, whether it be an eternal sin or a law or just something you yourself don't think is the greatest of all things to have done. To voice it, to make it real, and to hear it in your own voice helps you be at peace with the fact that you've done something that maybe you shouldn't have done, and can then in the future, when that same scenario occurs, do better.
You work on it. Yeah, you work on it. You do better. See, that's really what we have to do.
Because otherwise you just glaze over it and it just falls into the background noise.
Falls into the background noise. So what are we going to do? What are you going to do on Christmas Eve and time? What do you do?
I'm going to sleep.
You're going to sleep? You're going to sleep all day Thursday and all day Friday and all day Saturday?
No, I'm going to spend every waking moment I can with all the friends that I have nearest me.
Good. Well, they're going to be good friends nearest you. And hopefully you'll help me a little bit. I want to buy some things I went shopping the other day for stuff for the homeless center, but I got to get more. Would you mind helping me?
Oh, I look very much forward to it.
Okay, we need to do that. I think at least for one of the centers, and do the other one after Christmas. But
service is so important, and I think that's something that gets overlooked during the holiday seasons, or that people are in need, and people can't quite do it for themselves yet. And to ease their load and to help them on their path to recovery or wellness or back to stability, it comes down to us who have a lot. Or maybe we just have enough, and all we have to do is give of our time. Maybe all it is ladling out that dish of soup, or maybe it's just giving $1 to the person on this side of the street who doesn't have their family with them. I think service is the second most important thing to gratitude.
Well, it is, and of course the opportunity at the homeless center to help people is really great. It's great, and it's not about giving them money. It's just about being kind to them and helping serve them, and some of them really, really need a lot more help than others.
Well, like you said earlier, money is a representation of your time, and service is a giving of your time, and not everybody has an open schedule.
Boy, I wish I had a more open schedule. I had a call after the last show, and the caller asked me about sleep apnea. I want to address it. We only have a few more minutes. Sleep apnea, and should they have a sleep test? And I recommend that everybody eventually have a sleep test, because if you have apnea is a malfunction of your breathing process when you're asleep. And what it does is because you're not breathing regularly enough, it lowers your oxygen levels dramatically, so dramatically that you could actually die. And in order for you not to die, your brain will awaken you. I have one patient we did a study on, woke up 82 times in 1 hour. You know, his body tried to go to sleep, but then the oxygen level was so low that the brain woke him up to take a breath. You gasp, and you don't even know it because you're in a state of sleep. You're in a state of almost unconsciousness. And that can really cause a stroke very, very badly, very badly. And you can do a lot of damage to yourself. So I recommend that if you have spouts of exhaustion during the day and you're tired and you feel like you're not getting enough sleep, to try to get a sleep study. They hook you up to some equipment. Usually they send you home. They can do it in the hospital, or they can also do it in a sleep center. But it can be done at home with a device that you're wired up to, and it measures your oxygen levels all night long, every couple seconds. It measures the number of breaths you take when you stop breathing, how long you stop breathing for, when you wake up. It monitors everything, and they look at it and say, okay, you have sleep apnea. It's pretty bad. What we recommend is you have a machine, and you hook up this machine to you, and you wear a bit of a mask, and it's not a big deal, and it helps you breathe at night, and it changes your life, your whole life. So if your doctor or medical professional doesn't mention sleep apnea to you, please remember, it's a condition that can be very bad and can never be discovered unless you bring it up or your doctor brings it up, and many of them don't. They don't bring it up. So I want you to be aware that you may have sleep apnea. If you do, try to get a sleep study. If you sleep with someone and they say that you're gasping once in a while, that you snore can be, it always is not, but it can be, and most of the time it is, a sign that you have some apneas, you have some sleep problems that involve a less oxygen intake or uptake than you should be getting. So this is very important. It's important for the brain, it's important for the heart, it's important for your overall health. So that's my last bit of advice. Do you have anything you want to say before I say goodbye?
Yeah. Tell us about the Christmas party we had the other day and how our charities were benefited.
Hey, we had a great Christmas party. We every year, a friend of mine and myself sponsor a Christmas party. And this year we had a party and we raised some money for the Foothill AIDS Project, which services families of people with AIDS and other people, single people too who have AIDS. But there's a lot of families that are homeless, a lot of women that are homeless. And so we raised almost $11,000 in that one evening, and it was a lot of fun. And Di, our great producer, was there. You want to tell people if it was fun or not, Di?
Oh, it was fun. I didn't really meet that many people. We weren't there very long because we had to get up in the morning, and we had that private table.
You did. You had a private table. Nobody had a private table but you. I came to visit you. We had a bunch of children there too, and it was really fun because they got up on the stage and they were singing and dancing for us, and it was quite an evening. We had a lot of music. We had some great singers, and I appreciate you coming. You drove a long way. I hope dinner was worth it.
Of course.
Oh, dinner was amazing.
That's great. That's great. Well, I send my best wishes to everyone. I thank you for being with us today, Nicholas. And Di, we thank you all the time for everything you do for us every day that we're here. And I send everybody good wishes for a great Christmas. And I exhort you to love one another and love yourself and forgive yourself from all the BS that you've done and start over again. God bless everybody. Take care, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year's.
Hallelujah. Make it. Make a Happy New Year. Make a great New Year.
And thank you to you, Dr. Jolly.
Thank you. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
This is KCAA Loma Linda. CNBC News is next. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com. Go there now and join the thousands who have already signed up for a new and exciting way to buy and sell online, launching January 15th.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio. More trouble for daily fantasy sports websites FanDuel and DraftKings. Illinois has become the latest state to determine them to be illegal gambling sites. The Attorney General says they may have to change the way they operate in the state. Hyatt Hotels, the latest victim of malicious software discovered in its payment processing systems. The